Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the most must-see high school and college sports shows specializing in Philadelphia sports, the voice of reason. Yes, there once again is only one voice, Jacob Schwartz. And joining us again, as usual, behind the glass, Joey Delco, coming to you once again from the RDR studios here in Ridley Park.
What's going on, boys?
Joey, always a pleasure. And we are available, as always, on Voice of Reason Live on Facebook, on Periscope, via Twitter at JacobSchwartz23, and our YouTube channel, Voice of Reason. And, folks, we've got a great, first of all, happy November. It's a great month with some great things to talk about. Eagles win. They're, at least for now, tied for first place. Hopefully that will stay. Maybe they'll get into first place, but right now it's 3-0 New York. It's now it's 3-3 with the field goal. Phillies hire a new manager, Joe Girardi. How's he going to turn out? Sixers undefeated 5-0. College basketball is 24 hours from now. And we've got a special guest in just a few moments that's going to answer many of our questions. But before we do that, tonight's show, as always, is powered by the Edge of Philly Sports Network. I think I just heard the doorbell ring. Well, we'll figure that out. And it's brought to you, as always, by Chickies and Pete's, the #1 sports bar in North America. Danny Rumpf Classic, the #1 basketball summer pro-am for over 13 years, serving over 100 current and former professional athletes. By FullCourtPress.net, a recruiting service publication and website covering West Coast high school and JUCO basketball since 1994. And Lee's Hoagie House, serving award-winning cheesesteaks and hoagies since 1953. Tonight, we've got a great show for you for the next 60 minutes. We're going to be joined by the founder of Full Court Press and Pangos All-American Camp, Dinos Triginos. He'll call in at 8:45. Pat Massaroni of Archbishop Stepinac in Westchester, New York, will call us as well at about 9 o'clock. The guy's as busy as could be, is going to take the time to call us and let us know again what's going on, because today he had a big signing. Again, we'll get to that in a minute. But again, for the first time ever, we have our first ever co-guest host here on the Voice of Reason Live. I have met this man from Newman University, Hoop Group, and of course the AAU's Elevate Hoops, Mr. Ron Solomone, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure, as always, to have you, to talk with you. We are delighted to have you here on Voice of Reason Live.
Thank you for having me. This is a great place you have going on in here. I was not expecting to walk into what you have in here, but a great setup, and thank you again for having me.
Well, you know basketball just as well as anybody, I think, in this country, and we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. But the Eagles victorious yesterday, 22-4. I should say outscored 14-3, 8-point victory. But there's bad news again on the outlook. Deshaun Jackson, likely his season over, out 6 weeks. Now, again, that hasn't been ruled. That's not official, but it is ruled out at least until week 15 or week 16. I don't think he can recover from that. And the Eagles are off this week. They've got the champion Patriots coming in. How do they look? Where do we go from here?
Well, you have 2 weeks to figure out what you're going to do about that injury with Deshaun Jackson. Not many guys on the free agent waiver wire. You can't make a trade. You can't make a transaction of that nature. The trading deadline is already passed. So the first guy that comes to mind is Antonio Brown. Do we have to go down that road, and do we have to bring in a guy like that? You're hearing a lot about Matthews right now, Jordan Matthews. He's familiar with the whole setup, the locker room. It's Carson Wentz's best friend. Then there's Des Bryant's name being floated out there, but there isn't going to be a guy where you could have gotten if you made a trade before the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, the Eagles are again with what they did, despite being outscored 14-3, and they were up again 19-0 through 3 quarters. They end up going on to win 22-14, and it was 116-1 in passing yards. I mean, Trubisky just could not get that ball in the air. I thought the run defense was tremendous, but they did allow that one big play, and from that one big play, that set off a spark. 14 unanswered for Chicago. I mean, that's just, again, that's unacceptable. They are going to need that, despite the loss to Baltimore. I think New England brings that energy, and Tom Brady is, I mean, I think we all know that's probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Well, the biggest thing that they're going to have to do in that game is run the ball. The last 2 games, they've been able to get their run game going. So it's going to be imperative when you think about the Eagles going into the Patriots game. It's at home. You're going to just have to grind it out. You have to keep Tom Brady on the sideline. You have to keep that offense on that sideline. You do not want him on the field and getting hot. So you have to wear down that defense. You have to attack them. And I think Baltimore last night kind of showed you the recipe on how to do it.
The blitz. The blitz really picked up. They pressured well on Edelman. They shut down the run. They got to Brady a lot. And, I mean, there have been times this year where this defense has been able to pressure the ball, though we'll keep that in mind in just a few moments. But our lines, again, are open 484-257-9592. Eagles, again, win. Sixers are undefeated. College basketball is back in less than 24 hours from now. Also, yeah, the applause is definitely evident because can you believe that after all this, guess what's back? Basketball!
College basketball.
College basketball!
It's great time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the 24-hour marathon's coming on again also.
I didn't know about that. I know there are games that are going on, and it all headlines on Election Day tomorrow. Yes, November 5th, 2019.
Make sure you get out there and vote.
Oh, please do that. I hope so. I can't vote. I don't in Ridley Park. I can only vote in Fort Washington. But again, if you want to talk Eagles, if you want to talk the Sixers, college basketball again is back. The Champions Classic, 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4 at the world's famous Madison Square Garden. We're talking about Michigan State versus Kentucky. We're talking about Duke versus Kansas. We're talking about Temple. We're talking Penn. Villanova is back. They're playing Army at 8:30 at the Finneran. And how do you like this? You're a local guy, Ron.
Yes, I am.
How do you like this? Colin Gillespie, Tommy Funk, 2 Archbishop Wood players are going to go at it tomorrow night.
Oh, it's great. It's great. And it's why the Big 5 basketball is great basketball. It's great to have the guys come back, even if they're recruited to come to this Big 5 or if they transfer in. It's great to have the guys in the city. And then we added 2 great coaches to the Big 5 basketball this year.
That's right. He's talking again. Our friend Rod here is talking about Billy Lang is back in the Big 5 after taking a couple of years off to coach with the Sixers. Aaron McKee is back home, having spent most of his life. I mean, Aaron, we spoke with him, again in the last couple of months and weeks. I had my graduation here at McGonigal. I spent a lot of time here going as a kid. I mean, he is a North Philly guy.
Yes,
can he bring that? Can those 2 bring this talent to the Big 5? We lose 2 of the best coaches, Phil Martelli and Fran Dunphy, respectively.
Well, he came in late, so I'm sure he was already on the recruiting trail already. But if you give him one more full year to get out there, he's the head man. He's able to get into these kids' houses with the parents, sit them down, and say, head coach Aaron McKee. That's different. You give him one more full year, that place is going to be rocking. It's going to be sold out. The people are going to come back.
Do you think people are going to actually come to Temple games?
They're going to come back. Just with that name alone and what that name does, and that name alone, Aaron McKee, means something to North Philly.
It really does. I mean, the years at Simon Gratz, playing at Temple under the great John Chaney, and he's learned from the best.
The best.
I mean, from Chaney, from Bill Ellerby at Simon Gratz.
John Chaney actually was a mentor to my father.
Really? Tell us about your father.
Yeah, so, he came up with Herb McGee at the old textile.
Yes.
People know it as Jefferson University now. And then when he left, he ended his career at a junior college for 11 years at Gloucester County College. Won a national championship there. Goes down as one of the winningest junior college coaches ever. He's in the NJCAA Hall of Fame, the School Hall of Fame, and the County Hall of Fame. He hit the trifecta. And we're now waiting to go through the process to get him into the NBA piece of the Hall of Fame for the JUCO department.
That would be actually something that I think, because I never, unfortunately, ever got a chance to meet your father. But, hey, let's take but Rod and I are taking calls right now. We've got our first call of the night. Go ahead, caller, your name and where you're calling from, please.
It's a great day to be the voice. This is Coach Lou from Blackwood, New Jersey.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Lou, Rod and I, of course, know him very well. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hanging in there, boys. Great to talk to you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Tell us about, what do you want to talk about tonight?
No, just great to hear you guys. Always love the job you do promoting, basketball voice. It's nothing like it. Ronald is an old friend, and just thought I'd call in and say hello. A lot of people have been accessing your show. You do a great job, again, promoting the game of basketball. Thank you.
Hey, how excited are you about tomorrow night? I mean, we're less than 24 hours away. Temple is back. St. Joe's is playing Bradley. Villanova's opening at the Fitterin against Army. I mean, could you get any better than this?
Well, we have one more game to discuss now, too.
Yes, let's talk about that.
It's that Camden County game with their arch rival up there at their place, Brookdale Junior College.
Ooh, tell us about that, Coach Lou.
Well, that Brookdale's probably one of the best. Well, they are one of the best teams in the country. They've won the national championship 2 out of 5 years. So it's a great test. It's a great test to open on the road and see where we are. We have a very young team, and hopefully go play the right way and see what happens. But we're excited about the opportunity. This is my 37th year of coaching. I guess I should say I should be excited about just waking up in the morning. But anyway,
I know that you're one of the most passionate people that I know, and I just wanted to honestly say good luck. Now, we do have a special thing for you. Forgot to mention this here on Voice of Reason Live, and that's our Voice of Reason trivia. So we brought back the Chickies and Pete's $25 gift card, and for a chance, would you like to play the Voice of Reason trivia, Coach Lou?
Well, I guess, sure. Okay, I'll
go ahead. All right, let's do it. All right. The question of the night for a chance to win the gift card. Now, your answer doesn't have to be accurate. We're going to count down all the callers, and whoever's the closest is going to win the gift card. What was the first year that Chickies and Pete's opened its door?
Oh, that's his father and mother opened the place in Northeast Philly. I would say 1938.
Okay, that's a very that's an accurate decision. We will again follow up with you later and let you know if you are our winner. Lou, as always, it's great to talk with you. Good luck tomorrow night, and send everybody my best.
Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you, sir. Yes,
all right.
Yes, thank you.
All right. That again is Coach Lou from again out of the New Jersey area, from Burlington community, and he is certainly one of the most respected coaches, Rod, in America.
Yeah, he's coming, especially off of what happened last year with him health-wise. He was unable. I don't know if you knew the story. He was unable to finish the year last year, and he missed half of the year.
What happened?
He had to go in and get a surgery done on the knee. And it was a knee that was giving him problems way back when he played with Herb McGee. So he had the surgery. He was out. He was unable to get on the sideline. But now he's re-energized and he's ready to go. And I don't know if you know, he has a great transfer over there in that little building over there at Blackwood, New Jersey.
Yes, and who is that transfer, if you would tell us?
Coming from Delaware State, Paul Six High School.
Justin Ryder, is that
Justin
correct?
Ryder.
Yes. What a great career he had. What a great career he had in the New Jersey area. Justin was somebody that I think he'll be a big help and a great addition, again, for Coach Lou. Hey, speaking of Chickies and Pete's, it is now 8:43 here on the Voice of Reason Sports Time, known for its world's famous wings, crab fries, and seafood, now available in 19 different locations, including The Link, Citizens Bank Park, and the Philly International Airport. For more information, head over to chickiesandpete's.com. Chickies and Pete's, go where the players go. We should be hearing momentarily from Pango's All-American founder and Tarkanian Classic founder, as well as the Fab 40's Dinos Triginos. And Ron, your father knew Dinos for many, many years. Tell us about what Dinos really was like to your family.
Well, again, just to go back to my dad being on the trail for all those years, the old kangaroo camp, the Pangos camp.
Yes.
Where those camps originated at, he was there, and I was a little kid coming with him, learning the trail of recruiting, learning the game of basketball, learning the whole business side of basketball. And I was a little tight then, but I remember showing up at the Pangos and showing up at the kangaroo camps, and it was just a great experience, especially for a kid that wants to learn basketball and wants to play against the best competition. Nothing better than that.
Well, you can keep that comment right now because right about now is the time that we have been waiting for. One of the best high school experts, the man who is known for West Coast basketball, has now joined us, and I spent a great deal of time with him over the last weekend. I'm talking about the man who has formed Pangos All-American Camp, helped out with the ABCD Camp, the Fab 40, and the Tarkanian, my good pal Dinos Triginos. Dinos, thank you again for being here on Voice of Reason Live.
Hey, Jacob, it's a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure being on the air with the voice.
And you are joined also by our good pal, Mr. Ron Solomone from Newman University. He is, again, Elevate Hoops. He actually has worked with our buddy Rob Engelman. So,
good, Ron. So, Ron Solomone, good to meet you, buddy.
It's a pleasure.
Well, let's talk to you for a quick second and talk about over the last month. You have been pretty much nonstop on airplanes from Chicago to Los Angeles to Dallas to even in my way in the Deptford, New Jersey area. What was the highlight? What is the highlight of October basketball?
Well, it's hard to pinpoint one. We started off the third week in September with the All West. We normally work our way from west to east, and we're in LA the third week in September every year. Then we go to Dallas for the South and Southwest. This year was the first weekend in October. And then we went back-to-back weekends, the third and fourth weekend of October. First in LaGrange, Illinois for the Midwest, right outside of Chicago. And then obviously a week later we were in the Philly, Jersey area for the East Coast. And this year we had probably our widest variety and diversity of states represented. I think we had something like 21 states in the District of Columbia.
Really?
And we had kids from as far away as Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, up into Maine, Vermont, Ohio. So we had a great sampling of 230 plus kids, and the East Coast is always a highlight. It ends with a bang, and definitely lots of talent to watch and talk about.
Well, you were
for a long time.
Yeah. Who was because I got to ask this. I know that you can't even keep track. There's so many kids that you're able to deal with. Was there any players in particular that stood out in any of those camps in those four territories?
Yeah, the story of the fall was basically there was a kid that came to my Chicago camp last year as a freshman and did not make either All-Star game. I think he was honorable mention. And this kid was really motivated by that fact that he wasn't selected for an All-Star game, and he actually did not come back to Chicago. He decided to come all the way out to California, show us how much better he got. And I recognized the name at first, and I wasn't quite sure. And then he was the co-MVP of the West Camp from Kansas City area, Overland Park, Kansas. Aiden Shaw, who's a 6'7" forward, and he was chosen as the co-MVP with Kajani Wright, who's a top 5 to 10 player in that class nationwide out of Windward High School in Los Angeles. And Kajani was a starter on that USA Basketball Under-16 team that won the World Championship in that age group in Belém, Brazil this past summer. And Aiden came back, and it's just probably a story of the fall where you have somebody who, doesn't let the fact that, at a given camp you don't get chosen, and you come back stronger and better and more prepared and eager to prove a point, and he did, and he's getting offers like crazy in UCLA and Stanford and in the whole Big Ten, Big 12, and got a slew of offers here in the last month, and somebody who wasn't ranked until now and proved he was every bit of Kajani's equal, and I expect him to have a similar rise in the national rankings. That was probably one of the stories, the major stories of the
that I could definitely.
But the one thing we had a lot of balance. There wasn't the previous year we had, whether it was Jonathan Kuminga at the East Camp a year ago or a year ago with Patrick Baldwin, guys that were clearly legitimate number one in the country contenders. This year we had a lot more balance. It was no clear cut other than maybe the West Coast, no clear-cut MVP of the camp. There were several guys kind of bunched together at the top there, and we had a lot of good parity and balance.
Our East Coast guys were, because my three that I tell every coach that I see is Gonzaga's Judah Mintz, Kyle Cuff from Blair, the son of the great Kyle Cuff Sr., and then Chance Westry. I mean, that guy certainly stole your had to have stolen your eye. You've had the privilege, and I had the chance to talk with you in New Jersey. Sonny Vaccaro, Gary Charles, Frank Burleson. I mean, who are some of the best people that you learned from when you were growing up as a kid?
Well, obviously, I had a chance to work. I've been to the ABCD camp, but I actually worked the Nike All-American camp with George Raveling in the 90s. I was able to. And they had some monster camps back then with Elton Brand and with Ron Artest and Amari Stoudemire and guys like that. And obviously the pioneers of the grassroots, especially on the West Coast, the late Izzy Washington, who started the Slam and Jam League and Slam and Jam tournaments back in the Long Beach area, Long Beach Carson area. Rich Goldberg, who started doing teams in the 80s and had monster teams with Jason Kidd and Tracy Murray and Chris Mills and guys like that. And the late Bob Gottlieb, whose son Doug Gottlieb is now with Fox Sports. He was with ESPN for a while, then CBS. And his other son is an assistant at Oregon State, has been a long-time assistant coach at the college Division I level. And do this a long time, and I was kind of ironic that Kyle Cuff, who was terrific a couple weeks ago in New Jersey. His father, obviously, as you pointed out, was great, one of the greats at St. John's, and a terrific player in himself. He actually played in my All-Star game.
Really?
When he was in high school. That's how old I'm getting right now.
Oh,
he played in the Dada All-Star game back in L.A.
Oh, my goodness.
20 years ago, and now I'm seeing his son play in my camp. And it's kind of funny because very similar to, I think you're familiar with Zaire Williams, who's a top 5, the top 10 player in the country, and just visited Arizona, is going to decide between Duke and North Carolina and Stanford.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize until about a year ago, his father played in one of my early events. I had kind of the name kind of rung a bell, but I wasn't quite sure. And he played in the mid-1990s in a high school event I had in L.A., and now his son, who was not even around at that time, is, a top 5 or so player in the country. He's going to be at McDonald's. He's got a really great chance to be a pro, and it's kind of funny how time flies. I don't feel that old, but at times I get reminded.
You look like $1 million.
Hey, Coach. So
I appreciate that.
Over the years, you've had a lot of big names come to your camp. Can you highlight maybe one or two kids that was maybe under the radar, a kid that was under recruited, that came to your camp, and then just really played his way into a scholarship situation?
Well, there's been quite a few. One where I get tell the story all the time in my camps about Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was the quintessential late bloomer, and people don't fully understand the way he plays and his attitude on the court kind of reflects the fact that, he was not a person who was heavily regarded prior to the end of his high school career. And, nobody really was kissing his ass or showering him with free gear or raving about him and, showering him with accolades. He's got a guy that kept working. He hit his stride. I don't even remember him being anywhere near that athletic in high school, to be quite honest with you.
Wow.
And he actually benefited by an opportunity to get a scholarship only because a player left early for the NBA draft at UCLA, Jordan Farmar. Mm-hmm. And Jordan decided to go pro. At that time, he had a pretty good senior year, Russell Westbrook, and it was getting some interest. I think Miami, Florida was looking at him. I think Kent State some schools like that were interested in him. And a scholarship opened up, and UCLA was in desperate need of a guard. And, they probably won't admit it, but it was probably looking at him as an insurance type of thing, where they can have body until they can recruit over him the following year at that level, at a UCLA, Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, North Carolina. And he actually played pretty well as a freshman. I don't think he even started as a freshman at UCLA. And I was coaching a summer league team in the college summer league, the Say No class, which is at that time for many years was the premier college summer league in LA. And I remember coaching against him, and he was unguardable. I'd never seen anybody that fast that I could remember that I coached against in person.
Well, you've been you've been fortunate, Dinos, to coach and work with some of the greatest athletes in the history of this business, and you've learned a lot. I've had the privilege of learning from you the last few years when you come down in October. Again, Dinos, go relax. I know you've been doing nothing but traveling all of last month. And don't forget, folks, the Tarkanian Classic comes up late December in Las Vegas. Hopefully, we'll see each other out there. But again, Dinos, thank you again for taking the time out to speak with us here on Voice of Reason. Ron and I certainly appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Anytime you need me to kill an hour for you any day of the week, I'm here for you.
Dinos, we'll definitely catch up. That's Dinos Triginos again from the
All right, buddy.
All right, Dinos.
Talk to you soon.
You got it.
All right, guys.
Dinos Triginos again from the fullcourtpress.net. Again, it's a scouting service he started, again, over the last 25 years. Before we do that, we got a phone call. Hello, caller. What's your name? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, how you doing? This is Frank.
Hi, Frank. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Newtown, Pennsylvania.
Hello, Frank from Newtown, Pennsylvania. What do you want to talk about tonight?
I'm actually from the South Jersey area. I'm a big-time Philly sports fan.
Oh, he's a South Jersey guy. I love that.
Yeah, you and I know each other. Voice. We've met before.
Yes.
Yeah, so the NBA Power Rankings came out today, and your Philadelphia 76ers are first.
Can you believe that?
Number one.
Can you believe that? I can honestly, Frank, I first of all want to say thank you for the call. I wanted to say that the Sixers look good. They look very, very tough. Furkan Korkmaz with that unbelievable three. I'm just blown away by how good this team has become now. They're in action tonight against Phoenix. Do you really think this Sixer team is for real?
You got Pat on the line.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we have ended this conversation, and now it looks like we are now going to be joined by, well, I know he's had a pretty busy day. He had to step outside of a function of meetings, and it's my pleasure to welcome in from the New York Catholic League in Westchester, New York, from Archbishop Stepinac High School, Mr. Pat Massaroni. Hello, Coach.
Voice, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, brother. I appreciate you giving us the time. I know you've got limited times and dates, but I wanted to sit down and chat with you about, first of all, congratulations. In the last 2 weeks, you now have two big names that have gone to the ACC Tobacco Road. Earlier today, A.J. Griffin, Duke, R.J. Davis in North Carolina. Congratulations. What does that mean for this school?
Yeah, no, first off, thank you for the praises. It's a pretty special feeling for our school, our program, and those guys and their families. It's pretty neat. To experience something like this, it's not something every day that you have one kid go to Duke or Carolina, but to have two and both be on the same team and in the same program just goes to show their hard work and their family's hard work, and we're beyond excited for them and enjoying this moment before we get into our season here in the next couple weeks. But special day and special times right now at Stepinac, both on the court and in the classroom as well.
Well, we wanted to, along with myself and Ron Solomon, and Ron would like to, of course, as a basketball expert himself, has had Division III experience, has worked over at the Hoop Group. I'm sure you've probably seen him at the Elevate Hoops a couple of times. Maybe you saw him at UAA, and that's when you and I spoke. And then I had the chance to come to your open gym and tell us about the outlook for this upcoming season. I mean, you've got probably one of the toughest schedules in the country.
Yeah, we returned 9 guys from a championship appearance where we fell up short to Christ the King, who's a power in not only New York City and the league but across the country as well. And we fell up short. We returned 9 guys who were eager to get back on the court. Like you said, we probably have one of the toughest non-conference schedules in the country, with our league allowing us to play 7 non-league games. We'll be traveling to the City of Palms, which is arguably a top 2 or 3 tournament in the country every single year, with probably 7, 8, or 9 top 30 teams in the country going into it. We'll then get back from there and we'll head down to Delaware. We're going to take on Paul VI, who in the most recent poll I saw, number 6 in the country. We'll come back. Our next non-league, we'll play Rutgers Prep with Trey Patterson and those guys. Coach Bloom does a great job there. And then we'll end up our non-conference slate up at Hoop Hall at the Hall of Fame versus East Catholic, who went 24-0. And back to the City of Palms, we open up with the defending champs of Tennessee, who their point guard's top 20 in the country in AJ's class, the 2021 class. So that's just our non-conference and has nothing to do with our 17 league games that are challenging every single night. Unbelievable coaching in our league and talent. And we're excited for it. We're embracing what our role will be in both league games and non-league games. And we're excited. We're excited. Our guys are excited. We'll start up practice this Saturday, and we're looking forward to it.
Hey, Ron, do you think you could do what this guy does? I mean, this guy has one of the toughest schedules in the country, and the fact that he can barely, as I always have an old saying, this guy sees me more than he sees his own family.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. First of all, how you doing, Coach?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Without a doubt. Thanks for having me.
And no, I couldn't do your job. I don't know how you do that.
Hey, so, Coach, besides AJ and RJ, you've got, I am beyond impressed with this, again, with Luke Fazulik, Malcolm Shamizi. You've got a national, I think, underclassman. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. How far along are these kids coming? I know AJ and RJ have done their thing and will be great players between now, college, and the NBA. But do you see anything special in Luke and Malcolm?
Yeah, we're fortunate enough, as you said. Obviously, those 2 guys on the national stage have gotten the credit, and they deserve it. And you doing your homework and seeing us, we're fortunate enough that we have Luke Fizlich, who's a senior, Matt Brand, who's a senior, and Justin Moretti, who's a senior. 3 guys that have been in the program now for 4 years. In addition to them is Alpha Bengora Jr., who's been in the program now for 2 years. So we have a senior class that loves to work and loves to compete. Those guys are still undecided on where they'll end up in college, whether Division I, 2, or 3. But guys that all could have breakout years for us and are really important to team success. And you start making your way down. Malcolm Chemezi, who's 6'8", has had an unbelievable blow-up summer, kind of going from lower tier mid-major leagues to the A-10 now, and sniffing some other interests, being a high academic kid. And you stay in the junior class. We have a couple other guys, and Jonah Pang, who's also 6'8", and another kid, Josh Zangerly, who's about 6'4" wing. And like you said, we have Joel Baez and Samuel Gibbs in the sophomore class.
I love Samuel Gibbs. I love his shooting.
Yeah,
Gibbs can shoot.
Both have.
Gibbs can shoot it.
Yeah, both have. He can. He really can. He's lefty. He's tough. And again, we experienced a lot of injuries last year, all throughout the year, which hampered us a little bit. But we returned that group of guys that I just mentioned, and it staggered from sophomore year to junior year to senior year, and we have some young talent in the program as freshmen as well. Freshmen that'll come on the scene. But it's a team that makes it successful, and that's why we've been able to win 70 games over the last 4 years. It's a program. It's a culture. It's a group of guys that give up themselves to the team. And look, we'd be lying to you if you didn't think that everybody knows, obviously, RJ and AJ, but there's more to it. 2 guys don't win you championships, no. And it's something that if everybody embraced their role with some good health, we're excited. And the one thing about us, we're not afraid to play anybody, and we'll go anywhere, and we'll take on that challenge.
If
that's what our guys.
If I ever host the play-by-play classics and take over for the great Jeremy Treatment, you're one of the first people that I make phone calls to, Pat. You know that because I have great respect for you. I've known you a long time, since back in the Jordan Tucker days, and I'm very excited to see what you're going to bring. And I know you've got places to go. So, Pat, Coach Massaroni, thank you again for being here on the Voice of Reason Live. Always great to talk to you. See you down the road, my friend.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Hoop
Coach.
season is upon us.
We're
Hoop
ready.
season's upon us. Hopefully your Sixers can keep winning down there, boys.
Thanks, Coach.
6-0 tonight, Coach.
Yeah, there you go. Have
All
a good night, guys.
All right,
you.
thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
All right, Pat Massaroni again, Dinos Triginos, the two most respected guests. Before we get back to Ron, Danny Rum Classic, a nonprofit organization that has fundraising events in the official NBA-sanctioned basketball tournament over 5 days long, held in the heart of Philadelphia, has been the last few years LaSalle University. Past players include James Harden, John Wall, Jason Tatum, and twin sensations Mark Keefe and Marcus Morris. For more info, check out der2foundation.org or contact Mike Morak at 215-510-2987. Also, thank you to Dinos Triginos, the fullcourtpress.net, a recruiting service publication and website covering West Coast high school and JUCO basketball for over 25 years since 1994. Don't forget to register for Pangos All-American Camp in October, held in 4 different cities, Chicago, L.A., Houston, and South Jersey, although recently was Dallas. For more info, contact Dinos at 562-843-8245 or email him at trigonis30@aol.com. And, of course, we're going to finish things out again with Ron for the next couple of minutes. Ron, Temple is back in action, 8 o'clock against Drexel. St. Joe's versus Bradley at 7 at the Hagan Arena. Penn's taking on Alabama. And again, LaSalle opens on November 9th. It should be a lot of fun. Before we do that, we've got a phone call. Hello, caller.
Hey, how you doing? I'm calling back. This is Frank.
Frank, hello, Frank. Thank you so much for calling back. Frank from Newtown, hello.
Yeah.
So, okay, now, Frank, before we do that, we have a special trivia. We're doing the Voice of Reason trivia. If you'd like to, would you like to play Voice of Reason trivia for a $25 gift card to Chickies and Pete's?
Okay, sure.
All right, Frank. The question: what was the first year that Chickies and Pete's opened its doors?
Well,
in Packer, it was in the Northeast.
I would say, yeah, it's in the Northeast. I heard Coach Lou earlier.
Yes.
He mentioned the parents.
And Ron is with us right now, by the way. Ron Solomon.
How you doing, Frank?
What's that? Hey, Coach. So I'm going to say I say Pete's around his late 50s, maybe.
Yeah, that's about right.
My wife's family knows them.
Yeah.
Their parents, probably, that means they're like 80. I'll say 75. 1975.
You are actually very, very close, but you are actually the closest person to the winner. So we're going. That's an excellent guess. Thank you, Ron. And so let's continue the conversation again. We had basketball season again is upon us. How excited are you?
Me? Oh my God, I'm ecstatic.
Tell us what are some of the games you're looking forward to in the next 24 hours.
I'm looking forward to Villanova Army.
Okay.
I really like. Yeah, I'm a local guy, so I'm big on local talent. Obviously, Archbishop Wood. There's the two kids that will be playing.
Yes.
They came up as freshmen.
Tell us about. Are you going tomorrow?
I am not going.
Okay.
I wish I was.
Oh, yeah. How do you like Tommy? Yeah. So Tommy Funk to me was one of the toughest guards I ever saw play. Ron, I know you were a big fan of his. They had that triple overtime throw with him and Colin when they played Ryan Daly, and those two are going to finally resume, I guess, their relationship. And Frank, I mean, just to be able to know what those two are going to be, I can't imagine how high the emotions are going to be between those two.
Yeah, I mean, Funk is he's always been a strong, tough guard. Left-handed, can really drive the lane. And Gillespie's only gotten better, right? I think Jay Wright did a great job his freshman year, kind of just, putting him in the games here and there, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, so the kid can get his feet wet, never made too many mistakes. And now you see what's happening, right? He's getting all the time in the world. So it's real exciting for the local talent, and we'll see what happens. I don't think Villanova's at the top, but hey, you never know, right?
Is there anybody else? Yeah, is there anybody else besides Nova that you think impresses you both locally and nationally?
Well, honestly, I'm just gonna take it. I would have to say locally. I don't know. Honestly, there's been a lot of coaching changes in the local circuit.
Well, yeah, right.
There's a lot of transfers going on here, so I'm excited to see what St. Joe's is going to do this year with the new coaching. And they have Daly as well, right?
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see. I don't know. Honestly, maybe the D2 schools. Hey, Westchester went to the wire with LaSalle the other night.
How about that game?
Great game.
How about that classic? Stuff. A 7-point game. That means either LaSalle's in trouble or Westchester looks like they could be good in Division II.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. The same exact thing. I'm thinking, wow, Westchester is either terrific or LaSalle's, they're gonna struggle. But it's good to see, especially seeing freshman Robbie Heath was I think he was the game leader, or at least for his team. So,
yes.
Very impressed with that.
Yeah, can you actually do us a favor with that question we asked you? If you could direct message us your info on Twitter or on Facebook Live at Voice of Reason Live, so that we'll be, if, again, all goes well, we'll be able to announce you as the winner of the $25 gift card. Ron here would like to ask you a quick question.
So everyone in the city is excited to go back to Villanova basketball about the big fella, the big monster in the middle, coming in as a freshman, Eric Dixon. Are you excited to see him on the court this year for Villanova?
I'm excited, yeah, absolutely. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm excited to see what Temple does this year.
Yeah, me too.
Let's talk about that.
See if they can bring back the old days here.
Do you really like it? Let me ask you this: do you think Aaron is going to get the? Can he win? Can he get the job done? I know. Again, he had a great career at both Temple, the Sixers, Simon Gratz. Can he be the coach everybody's expecting him to be?
Honestly, I think that Aaron McKee had, two of the best mentors in John Chaney and Larry Brown.
Yes.
So sky's the limit for him. I mean, I actually heard him. I think it was on Sonny Hill's show, talking about the same thing. How he really wasn't, as a player, he never thought about coaching, and now here he is. I think it's his 10th year in the league. This is his first head coaching year. I would say with those two mentors, I think he has a pretty good shot at being a good coach.
Frank, thank you again for calling in. We always love talking with you. Call in anytime you want on Monday nights. We are, again, on Voice of Reason Live. Thank you, Frank.
I will. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. See you, Ronald.
Thank you, Frank.
All right. Thank you again. Goes out to our final sponsor as well. It's 9:14 here on Voice of Reason Live. Lee's Hoagie House, serving award-winning cheesesteaks and hoagies since 1953. We cater and we deliver. Try one of our locations in Abington, Horsham, Temple University, and Center City. Go to leeshoagiehouse.com for more info and like us on Facebook at Lee's Hoagie House of Abington and Lee's Hoagie House of Horsham. Ron, before we say goodbye to you, do you have anything you'd like to say about what you're expecting for the upcoming season? Again, from NBA, Sixers look sharp. Warriors look like they're going downhill 1-5. Steph Curry's
Injury
out.
bug.
And that really, and then for college, you also have, again, the Big Five is back, the Champions Classic. Tell us from Division I to Division III, who is impressing you the most?
Well, let's start real quick with the NBA season, with the Sixers.
Let's go. Let's finish that with the caller. Go ahead, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Philadelphia. This is Warren.
What? Sorry. Can you repeat that, please? Warren.
Correct. Warren Brown.
Hi, Warren Brown from Philadelphia. How are you? What can we do for you tonight?
I'm good, fellas. Let's talk about college basketball.
Let's talk about college basketball. What do you want to talk about?
Would this be the coach of the assistant down at Newman Goretti there in Philadelphia?
Yes, sir. This is him.
How you doing, Warren?
I'm good, fellas. Well,
Tell us about what impresses you. What's going to impress you the most about college basketball this year?
the competition is almost at an even level now. There's no real special team out here. It's going to be a real great competitive season. Very similar to NBA basketball. There's no real outside winner that you could determine that's going to win the championship or make it to that next level. Anybody can win this year, and I love it.
Is there any team in particular, Warren, that impresses you the most about, like team-wise? Like, can Aaron McKee get the job done with Temple, and Billy Lang at St. Joe's, and then Steve Donahue has really built a good empire at Penn, and Jay Wright being number 10. Who impresses you the most?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite. It's going to be interesting. I'm very interested in seeing how all of it will play out. So we know St. Joe's has a real good team as far as talent is concerned. A couple guys are transferred in, and NBA caliber coach coming in. So we're interested to see how they play and how they gel together. And very similar to Temple, being new head coach, but he's been there for a while, so he knows the ground roots. Very similar to Billy, but he's been at Temple graduate, Philadelphia All-American, played in the NBA, and then he's been coaching there for a while under Fran Duffy. So Fran Duffy pretty much gave him the keys to now run the ship. So it's going to be an interesting season.
Well, you know what, Warren, I absolutely I appreciate you calling in, and definitely, I'm going to be seeing you down the road, my brother. And before we let you go, we have one quick question to ask you, and we have a gift card here from Chickies and Peach, and we're wondering if you'd like to play the Voice of Reason trivia for that gift card for any Chickies and Peach, because I know you're just about a couple blocks away from Chickies and Peach. All right. Here is the question for you. What was the year that Chickies and Pete's opened its doors?
Let me take a guess. 1942.
Okay, that's a good guess. I like it. That's definitely Rod. Did you have anything you wanted to talk to Warren about?
Yeah. So we've been talking about Villanova and Temple basketball, the Big Five basketball, but I'd like to steer it into a direction where one of your kids is up there at Rider University, and we have Chris Ings hitting the court this year. Can you explain how excited you are to see Chris now up there at Rider? What do we expect to see his freshman year, and kind of tell the listener out there the type of player that Chris Ings is?
Okay. We're expecting big things from Chris. His athleticism, his explosiveness. He's got a motor. He has a killer instinct in him. One of the best kids I've had the pleasure of coaching in Dino L. He has great instinct as far as a basketball player, and he wants to get better. He's a gym rat. The main thing he really needed to improve on was his outside shooting, and it's being more consistent with that. And he took some great leaps into a senior year at Newman Goretti, which we all appreciated. It's going to be interesting to see what he do as well, man. I know he's going to get some great minutes this year, so he's going to have many opportunities. So it depends on how he produces and how he develops as a basketball player. Sky's the limit for Chris, for sure. Definitely going to check out a couple of his games this year. I'm expecting a couple big things from him, especially the next couple of years. And he may have a chance to go to the next level.
How many, and I have to ask this question, but how many times do you think I've beaten you in one-on-one, Warren?
Never? I'll say about negative 10.
Hey, someone let me know that Coach Warren's in the weight room getting in shape.
Oh, I listen.
So
I spent enough time with you.
If that game was an
I'll
even
see
game,
you.
it's
And
not even now.
excuse me, and we'll see you tomorrow night at Temple Drexel. How excited are you for that game?
Oh man, it's awesome. And, you know,
It's as exciting as the Black Cat.
Too. I'm a Drexel graduate.
Yes, you are.
I'm a master from Drexel.
And one of the best in the business. More importantly, you're as excited as I am with that Black Cat that just ran on the field in the Giants-Cowboy game on Monday Night Football. That's how excited we are, I think.
Yes, sir.
8 o'clock tomorrow night, again, Temple and Drexel. Warren, a pleasure to talk with you, my man. See you tomorrow night down at Leocoris.
Warren. Thank you.
We'll definitely be in touch again with that. And don't forget to direct message us your info about the question you gave us of the Chickies and Pete's. Ronald, unfortunately, we got to say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Warren, talk to you soon, my man.
Thank you, fellas. Have a good night, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, and Ronald, before we let you go again, tell us again your one final prediction again. Who do we like in the Big Five? Who do we like in basketball?
Well, I think Villanova is going to take the championship there in the Big Five. I think it's third year. They had a down year. They were young last year. They're going to come back and rebound. But in general, the whole Big Five is going to be great basketball. The atmosphere is going to be great. Locally, if anyone inside Philly, outside of Philly, in the tri-state area, please come and see the great basketball that's now going to happen this year in the Big Five. And then for all us Philly folks, we have great kids playing all over. I mentioned Ryder.
Yep.
They have two kids up there, Span and Chris Ings up there playing. Jameer Nelson's kid is down there at GW.
Yes.
So
Dante Scott's at Maryland.
Dante Scott and Akeem Hart is down there as well. So there's a lot of, just locally great kids out at big time programs. College basketball is back. The marathon's going to be back. I'm going to be up 24 hours. My wife is going to kill me back at home.
Yes, I know her. Unfortunately, I deal with her enough.
And then to finish it, the Sixers, to finish that off, I think that we're expecting a big year now. If they can figure out how to bring a guy in that can make a jump shot, just one more guy, that team, like a Jamal Crawford.
Oh, yeah.
They might make
definitely
a serious run
and
might actually win the championship this year.
Oh, I hope so. Ronald, we're going to let you go. Ronald Solomon again, our guest co-host here on the Voice of Reason Live. As again, we're just about close to 7 minutes from the end of the show. We're continuing to take your calls again here for a chance to win a $25 gift card to Chickies and Pete's Voice of Reason Trivia. Again, the question again is the year that Chickies and Pete's broke ground in the Philadelphia area. Again, we're taking calls again, 484-257-9592. I want to also let everybody know the Eagles are off this weekend. They play in 2 weeks against the 13 days from today, right here in Philadelphia, against the world champion New England Patriots and Tom Brady.
Who got smoked last night?
Let's welcome in Joey Delco.
What is going on?
Hello, Joey. It's first of all, college basketball is back. Get out and vote tomorrow again.
Absolutely.
And Isaiah Thomas, if you're listening in, our good pal from Philadelphia. He is running again for councilman in the Philadelphia area. I wish I could vote. I don't live in Philadelphia. Get out there, vote for him. Vic Karstoffen from Camden, New Jersey. Our buddy again, Ronald, is also running for councilman in the New Jersey area. Get out and vote for him again as well. We want to again remind everybody again that we are on in 2 weeks from now on November the 18th. And we are still, again, waiting for more calls. And, again, 484-257-9592. And we want to know, again, first of all, I forgot to mention, where on my matters, the Phillies hire a new manager, Joe Girardi. How good can this guy get? I mean, we brought ourselves we went from one inconsistent to, I think, maybe consistent. Joe Girardi I think he can get the job done. He hires a good pitching coach in Brian Price. I truly believe that this might be the guy that could take us to the promised land, Joe. I mean, but you're pretty happy about this guy, right?
I'm ecstatic about this hiring. I think, and I hate to put it this way, but it's almost like John Middleton saying, all right, come on, Joe Girardi, show us that Yankee way. But, it's been decades of success for the Yankees, so you know what? Let's take a little page from their book. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like Joe. He was manager of the year, I believe, the first year in 06, gets fired out of Florida. Well, we all know their organization, in my opinion, is absolute garbage. But he did a great job in New York.
Second year with the Yankees.
He wins the World Series.
And
you know what? He deserved it. And he absolutely earned it. I think he's a great manager. By the way, folks, it's about 9:25. So, again, we're still waiting for more calls. And, again, whoever calls in can play the Voice of Reason trivia for the $25 gift card. Again, we've only had a couple of guesses. So, again, if you still want to play, we're still taking – I wish we could go on until about 10 o'clock because I got to tell you, we're still waiting again for more calls. But right now, again we want to remind everybody that college basketball is here.
You want to go another 15 minutes or so?
Let's go another 15 minutes. Shall we go another 15 minutes?
That works.
All right, let's go another 15 minutes. And again, now that we have another 15 minutes on, I want to remind everybody again that coming up is the G League basketball. The Delaware Bluecoats, again, are coming back to you live from the Fieldhouse, their first full season. I spent the day, actually, just a week ago with head coach Connor Johnson, Shiz Alston, Zaire Smith, Christ Kumar, I think was his. I forget what was that guy's. The big 7-footer, if you remember his name, Christ Kumaj, I think.
It's not ringing a bell to me.
We also have again the two-way players, Norvell Pell, and we also again I think Christ is actually the other two-way guy. Connor Johnson has high expectations. Here's what again if we have that video all played up, Joey. Connor Johnson, high expectations for the Bluecoats. Let's hear what he had to say. Here in Wilmington, I should say, yes, we've already now quoted ourselves. Yes, Wilmington, Delaware, and what a place again to be. We're just about 9 days from today. This young man will lead his Delaware Bluecoats into action against the Maine Red Claws at 7 o'clock p.m. Yes, the NBA season may be here, but the G League is still yet to begin. Head coach Connor Johnson, we welcome you back here to Voice of Reason.
Thanks, Voice. Good to have you, man. Glad you can make it here.
Hey, let's talk about this new team you have. Yes, there's new faces on the team, including Philadelphia native Shiz Alston from Temple. Eli Cade is here. As right now, this is mostly just the training camp edition of Delaware Bluecoats. Talk about some of the new faces and tell us what you're looking forward to about the upcoming season.
Yeah, like you said, we just finished day 3 of training camp, and I think we've had 3 solid days that we can be proud of. That kind of sets the foundation for what we want to do moving forward in the season. Like you said, we got some good Philly blood in the program. Shiz, Eli, like you mentioned, Shiz tweaked his hamstring a little bit, but he's been kind of in and out of these first couple of days. He's a player that we're really excited about. Of course, had a great career that I'm sure you followed at Temple.
I did.
It's great to keep him close by here as part of our program and to grow him and develop him into kind of the best professional version of himself. And he's also a great kid who I really enjoy getting to know.
Yeah, and among some of the names that are here, I just was walking by the facility. I noticed that Zaire Smith is currently here. I believe he is currently on what's called an assignment. Is he doing well? Is he improving?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a huge Zaire fan and supporter of his. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to have a successful NBA career. And now it's just kind of getting him reps playing. We played for 2 hours today and just getting games.
Did he look good?
Yes, for sure. And the way that he defends, I'm always impressed by his kind of overall approach into what we're doing. And then offensively knocking down jump shots. He's had a great stretch with us, and I'm excited about him kind of taking the next step, playing well for us, then going to the Sixers and playing well for them.
I was trying to figure that out when I first. And that, once again, was Bluecoats head basketball coach Connor Johnson. We now have on the right side the Sixer game, who are now playing the Phoenix Suns, as the Sixers are on the road for at least the rest of the week, trying to remain perfect again here, as a couple familiar faces I just saw, actually. So I guess the question becomes, is this team for real? I mean, yeah, I get it. Joel Embiid suspended for the next – well, he was out for Portland, and he was out for Phoenix. And Joey, it seems to me this team is really, and they're, I think the Bluecoats are kind of taking this page. Of course, down at the Fieldhouse, they run the same type of format. The Sixers, of course, run.
Sure. I mean, if you're really asking about if this team is the real deal, I mean, they're 5-0 at this point. I don't see how you can look at this team any other way. I mean, especially with the game that they had the other night where they had to come back. They were down by as many as 21. They literally fought to 0.10 or 4/10 of a second left in the game, and they got the victory. I mean, I don't know how you cannot take this team seriously right now.
I don't understand it anymore. And, folks, if you agree with me, call in and let us know about that, 484-257-9592. And we want to hear from you about Joe Girardi. Is he the right man for the job? Who's the best Big Five team, again, possible? Caller, go ahead if you want to answer any of these questions. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Connor Johnson.
Oh, my God. Ladies and gentlemen, speak of the devil, the man himself, Blue Coats' own Connor Johnson. Hello, Connor.
Hey, boys. I was hoping I'd catch you. I was just watching the show. Figured maybe there's something else you want to talk about.
What a surprise here. This only happens once on Voice of Reason, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's the only place, man. It's the only place. We know that.
Hey, Connor. First of all, we were just talking about you. We want to thank you again for the interview. We're now back on, by the way, again with our co-guest host of the night, Ronald Solomone, former Newman University coach, as well as basketball extraordinaire. And Connor, I just want to say that it is an honor to have you on here. And how are you feeling right now?
Feeling good. We just had our scrimmage yesterday. We scrimmaged Capital City, and can't go into a ton of details about kind of how that went, but we're happy and we're looking forward to our first game on Saturday. I know, Voice, you've been out seeing our team practice last week through training camp. I think we got some players to be excited about, some good Philadelphia players as well, Shiz being one of them, Isaiah Miles another one, but
yep.
I can't wait. I'm ready for the first game to kind of get rolling and see how we do.
Well, can you speak of Shiz Austin for everyone out there? First of all, how are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah, Shiz Austin is a big name here in Philadelphia. Can you explain to us or kind of tell everyone out there how he looks, development-wise, coming from college, coming to you guys now? How does this game look? Can you just tell everyone out there what to expect from him this year?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm really excited to kind of get Shiz on our team, in our program. I think the most impressive part, and you guys have seen him a bunch in college, is he scored at a really high rate, and yet he still had great assist numbers. He shot a very high percentage. He wasn't one of these guys who's just coming down and shooting a ton of shots at an inefficient rate. So he shot 90% from the foul line. He shot almost 40% from the three-point line if you take all of his years together, and he still had 6 assists per game. And playing for a great coach and Coach Dunphy, I think he's learned the game, learned how to be a point guard, learned how to score when necessary, and those are the skills. He's also got great size and a great kind of athletic frame that he needs to build on. He needs to get stronger, needs to learn the professional game, but I think he's a guy that he's exciting for us, and it's also great just to keep a local kid, a kid that's kind of grown up in this area, been at Temple, a big-time player at Temple, to come to Delaware is awesome. So I'm excited for Shiz. A little hamstring issue kind of hobbled him now through camp, but I think he should be back with us on a full-time basis very soon, and we're excited to see what he can do.
You were somebody who was Big Five himself. I mean, you learned from some of the greats, including Jay Wright, and now you're learning from someone like Brett Brown. I've asked you this a bunch of times, and I want the whole world here on Voice of Reason Live to know, what was it really like working under those two?
Yeah, it's funny. We scrimmaged yesterday, and then we had a day off today. And so today I went up to Villanova to watch them practice, which is always good for me just to kind of get back in the swing of it and see how Coach Wright handles it. And, they got great assistant coaches on their staff, too. Mike Nardi, former player, had a heck of a career. Kyle Neptune, George Halkovich, Voice. I know you know those guys really well.
I do.
And to see how they run a practice and how intense it is and the level of kind of focus every player has at all times is inspiring to me. And now tomorrow we have our practice and try to kind of steal some things from them, just like we steal things from Coach Brown with the system.
You're good at that, though, Connor. You're an expert at it. And this week, actually, for those fans who are listening in, is Blue Coats Week, including Wednesday, where the mayor himself will honor you for Media Day. That is, I can't believe I'm actually going to get to shake hands. I know you are as well, with the mayor of Wilmington, Delaware. What does this mean? What does this mean for this organization?
Voice, look at us, man. We've come a long way since team camp at Villanova. So it's great. No, I'm excited. All of this is great. It's great to kind of see the community getting behind the team. We're excited about the team we're putting out in front of everybody, and we're lucky to have people covering the team and kind of spreading the message of what we're doing like you guys. So I'm grateful for what you do.
Well, we will see you on Wednesday at 1 o'clock on Media Day. I will be spending a great deal of time talking to you. Thank you again for this surprise. I can honestly say I had a heart attack.
One question for you.
Please, go ahead.
How we doing our first debut at Maryland Eastern Shore?
Well, okay. All right. So in case anybody's wondering, yes, in my exhibition game at Maryland Eastern Shore, your old boss or old assistant coach, Jason Crafton, did as good a job as he could, but unfortunately Salisbury of Division III took them down at the buzzer. It was a tough one. Now,
how are you? Did you bring the energy?
I brought the energy as well as I've done. You've known me a long time to know. Ron can back me up on this. I think there's a reason why my name is The Voice.
Wow. No question. All right. Well, thanks, Ron. Thanks, boys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Connor, we'll definitely see you on Wednesday again. A special surprise here on Voice of Reason. Connor Johnson for the Delaware Bluecoats. He has learned again for the best, Ronald.
I'm glad that we went the extra 15 minutes.
Oh, my God. We're in extra innings, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Joey Delco, for that special. But again, so do you find that that the Bluecoats can learn something from the Sixer team? I mean, again, Shiz Alston, and then Eli Kane from DePaul. He's a New Jersey guy. He played with our public relations. And if Matt Murphy, if you're listening in, I know he went to school with you at Paul VI.
Saw him in high school, and then you have Isaiah Miles. He's
from
probably
St.
the old man of the group. The old man of the group.
And Christ Kamaj, and again Norvell Pell. I think it's Shayok. It's Mario Shayok are the two-way guys.
He used to transfer from Virginia.
That's
went
right.
To Iowa State as a senior.
Yes.
And then Norvell Pell, for everyone out there, he's a 6'9", 6'10" freak athlete. Everyone remembers the block shot that he had
in the preseason.
In the preseason.
Sure.
So, it's a great opportunity for those kids to learn the NBA game.
And they're in action again, as mentioned, November 9th on Saturday at 7 against the Maine Red Claws. Sixers.com/Bluecoats is your official source for all upcoming Bluecoats events. I'll be there, Media Day. I'll be there Saturday against the Maine Red Claws. But again, fans, we have the extra 8 more minutes left. Yes, we want to thank the man, Joey Delco, behind the glass, for giving us the opportunity to go extras here, as we will continue to field more calls. If you still want to play the Chickies and Pete's trivia, and in fact, Ron, why don't we have you do it? All right, here we go, Ron. So, for the $25 gift card to Chickies and Pete's, what year did Chickies and Pete's open its doors in the Mayfair Center, or Mayfair, in Northeast Philadelphia?
Yep.
What was the year?
So I was born in 1979.
And that's what the answer you're going with?
So I'm going to stick. I haven't cheated. I had a chance to cheat. I haven't cheated.
Okay.
So I'll just go with my birth date, like I was coming in here on the drive up today.
Okay.
And I was sitting in the 7-Eleven. I said, you know what? Getting a cup of coffee. How am I going to brew up great conversation tonight? And I said, you know what? I'll just go with my birth date, and I'll stick with 1979.
It's a good enough. That's a good answer. That's a good enough answer. Right now, there are 2 people with close enough answers. Our friend Frank from Newtown Square said 1975, and you just said 1979. So, again, we want to continue to take more calls. So if anybody, again, still would like to call in and play in and answer about the NFC East, the Eagles, the Joe Girardi hire, the Sixers are undefeated, college basketball is back in 24 hours. Don't forget to get out and vote tomorrow. I know I will. We have just about close to 5 more minutes again left. So, again, we're going to continue to take the phone calls.
Who are you excited to see this year in college basketball? Voice of Reason?
Well, Ronald, that's a very interesting question. Thank you for putting me on the spot.
Let's say locally.
Okay, locally? Well, all right. So, locally. I'm going to have to go with Temple. I heard a lot of questions, a lot of answers about it. Warren, our caller, was nice enough to mention the Aaron McKee thing. I'm interested to see how Aaron's going to turn out. I know that Jake Forrester is not I don't believe he's been officially ruled. He is not ruled eligible as of yet. He did not get the waiver.
No,
Ty Strickland, did he get the waiver? I'm trying to figure out if he got that. I don't think he did either.
No.
But they have three of the biggest names back. And at Temple Media Day, myself and many of the press were able to ask Aaron the question, who is going to help? And I think they got a big boost, despite losing Shiz and the big guy Ernest to Flackby. I think Quentin Rose is going to surprise, not just as one of the best of the Big Five. He could be the best guard in the entire American Conference.
He could. It's going to be a great year for Q.
And J.P. Mormon is another.
He's my guy.
That's your guy,
I've been dying to say his name tonight when you asked me the question.
J.P. Mormon.
Call in. J.P. Mormon was, a little held back from the last regime.
He was.
And his all-around game, he fits the way the college game is going. He's undersized. He can play away from the bucket. He can make the outside shot. He can post you up. I think he's going to have a big year for Temple. And then there's a name also coming back also from last year that didn't play. He was hurt. And this is Arashma Parks.
Arashma Parks is,
it's
from the Phelps School.
It's Amari Spellman from Villanova's half-brother.
That is correct. And
from the Phelps, from Brian Shanahan.
And how big is that to have a guy like him who grew up in the Ohio area, played for PSA in AAU basketball, and now here he comes playing he's learned from two of the best in Fran Dunphy and Aaron McKee. He should be a big impact again this year for Temple.
Big-time impact. He was going to give them minutes in a rotation last year, and he caught the injury. And now with graduation and now a new regime, I think he's going to have a big-time impact this year. Keep an eye out for the big fella and J.P. Mormon. J.P. Mormon's
I like J.P. Mormon. We need rebounding, though, and Temple's going to have to do that. They're in action again against Kirk Lee, against some of the great Drexel Dragons. First of all, my good friend Dave Leno from the Philadelphia Union will actually be the voice along with our good friend Rob Kennedy. We're just about out of time here, folks, and don't forget, want to thank again our sponsors, Chickies and Pete's, Danny Rub Classic, FullCourtPress.net, Lee's Hoagie House. Our next show again will be in 2 weeks on November 18th. But before we say goodbye, we have to announce the winner of the Chickies and Pete's gift card. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a tough one. This was somewhat of a draw, but unfortunately, because we are accepting the closest answer to that Chickies and Pete's gift card, you said 1979. Unfortunately, you are incorrect. The winner, Frank from Newtown Square. The actual year was 1977. You said 1975. Frank Kopstick.
79.
77, excuse me. But unfortunately, the closest was our pal Frank Kopstick. Joey, do we have a ruling? Got to go with Frank?
Well, yeah. I think you got to go with Frank. Each answer was 2 years apart, but you have to go with the one under because the answer shouldn't go over what the actual date was.
Our judge has indicated again that is correct. I'm
here to help the community, too.
Well, I was going to say, so that makes Frank again our winner. Congratulations, sir, for the Chickies and Pete's $25 gift card. We are back here again in 2 weeks on Monday, November 18th. We're going to continue to talk Phillies, Eagles, and high school sports. It will be a star-studded event. We hope again you'll tune in. For the man himself, our guest co-host, Mr. Ronald Solomon, Joey Delco behind the glass. This has been another edition of Voice of Reason Live. Thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you at the games. Good night, everybody.